Good evening from New York. Fake Tea Party protesters no longer limiting themselves merely to shouting down the effort to reform health care in this country. They now seem intent on disrupting any Democratic event about anything, anywhere they can find one. Our fifth story in the countdown. Why do these people hate democracy? From Utica, New York, House Majority Leader Steny Hoyer among the lawmakers holding a news conference there this morning to announce $5 million in extra stimulus funding that will be used to build a high-speed rail line in upstate New York that could totally remake the state. Congressman Hoyer talking about how the stimulus plan is helping the economy when he is interrupted by protesters.
Let me tell you the facts.
No. Lies.
Listen. For the last 3 months, housing starts are up in America. Last 3 months. Jobs, 95. Haven't changed since the Bush administration.
You're lying to me.
That's right.
What are you waiting? I don't have sophisticated language. I recognize a lawyer when I see one. Lies? No, unfortunately.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Why would you guys try to stuff a health care bill down our throat in 3 to 4 weeks when the president took 6 months to pick what he wanted for a dog from his kids?
Well, you're right about not having sophisticated language. That man identified as Don Jeror, J-E-R-O-R, founder of the Fort Stanwix Tea Party, quote, Patriots. On that sign, the quotation marks around the word Patriots are his, not ours. Meanwhile, outside a healthcare event in Hartford, an extremely tasteless protester talking about the cancer fight by Senator Dodd, making reference to Ted Kennedy, euthanasia, and alcohol, getting every single one of his facts wrong. And in St. Louis, Missouri, Tea Party protesters cheering for themselves, simply for being against health care reform and for their ability to derail a town hall meeting held by Senator McCaskill's staff. The protest was organized by the corporate lobbying group Americans for Prosperity, which is led by Tim Phillips. Tim Phillips, whose previous firm, Century Strategies, helped to launder money for Jack Abramoff. In a new memo, the DNC denouncing Republicans and their allied AstroTurf groups for, quote, inciting angry mobs of a small number of rabid right-wing extremists funded by K Street lobbyists to disrupt thoughtful discussions about the future of health care in America. The inciting angry mobs part of that statement realized on the eastern shore of Maryland, where Democratic Congressman Frank Crapoville was hanged in effigy by this proud and smiling protester. Looks like one of the lynch mob pictures in the early 20th century. Fomenting hatred apparently is what makes that man happy. The New York Times reporting that at the Austin rally of Texas Congressman Lloyd Doggett, protesters held a sign that displayed a tombstone with Congressman Doggett's name on it. Politico.com noting that another protester's sign had the Nazi SS lettering on it. Congressman Doggett saying in a statement he is more committed than ever to passing health care reform. He'll be Rachel's guest tonight. After lunch at the White House this afternoon, Democrat, quotation mark, ours, Max Baucus, perpetuating the lies of bipartisanship.
We agreed that it should be bipartisan because that's more sustainable, it's more enduring, it's the right thing to do. American people want us to be working together.
And remember, that's Max Baucus, fourth leading recipient in all of Congress in campaign contributions from the healthcare industries. Just remember to spell it correctly on the check. Time now to turn to Congressman Chris Van Hollen of Maryland. He is the chairman of the Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee and serves as assistant to Speaker of the House Pelosi. Congressman, thanks for your time tonight.
Good to be with you, Keith.
These fake grassroots protesters, have the facts now become completely irrelevant in this equation? They're opposing health care. They're opposing all government formulas and programs, but don't touch their Medicare. Do we have the heart to tell them that Medicare is a government program? I mean, are they simply smoke bomb throwers in the public discourse at this point?
Right. Look, these are guys who say they want to get rid of Medicare and rid of Social Security until they don't get their Social Security check or until they get denied their Medicare. What's really sad about this, Keith, is that members of Congress, Democratic members of Congress, are going home to talk to their constituents about health care reform, holding the insurance companies accountable. They want to have a conversation. And the Republicans said, we really want the American people to hear what's in this plan because when they hear about it, they won't like it. Well, the fact is they're scared to death about the American people finding out about this plan, and they're not letting these conversations take place. They're disrupting meetings. They're shouting people down. They're hanging people in effigy. And I think when the American people see what's going on, it is going to totally backfire on those who are opposing the effort to reform the health insurance industry and to try and change the system. So in some ways, I say, look, if you want to engage in this kind of conduct, let the American people see you for what you are.
Is that the backfire idea? I mean, the White House has said it's hoping to kind of go jujitsu on this, to use the staged energy against the people who are fomenting it. But how? I mean, how do you do that other than showing some idiot smiling next to a picture of a congressman hanging in effigy?
Well, one thing I think people need to know about is all the town hall meetings and conversations where people are having productive exchanges. And so then constituents can see exactly what they're being denied, because some of our members have had these very productive exchanges where people learn more about the bill, members of Congress get input from their constituents, and it works the way you would hope it would work. And these disruptions are denying millions of Americans that opportunity to have that conversation with their member of Congress. So I think number one is informing people who's behind this. It's these fringe elements, but it is being fueled, as you indicated, by some special interest groups in Washington, including the health insurance industry, which of course stands to profit enormously from the status quo. They've seen their profits going through the roof.
And the question at the heart of this whole process, Congressman, what is the plan for actually getting this done once the recess is over in September?
Well, the plan is in the House, we now have all three committees having reported the bill. We're going to pull that bill together based on what our members of Congress are hearing from their constituents and get a vote in the floor of the House, because the status quo is unacceptable to the vast majority of the American people. Other than this fringe elements who are trying to shut down the process and shut down the conversation, most people understand that if you want to see your premiums go through the roof, if you want a health care system where when you lose your job, you lose your health care, and in fact, when you've been paying your premiums day after day, and when you really need the health care, you're often denied it because of some fine print in the contract. That's what we need to change. And I'm confident that when people do hear from their constituent and have an opportunity to actually hear their constituents speak, they will find out there's great support from the American people. That's exactly why these disruptions are taking place, because I think that the opponents of health insurance reform understand very well that there's a great desire for reform in the country, and these people are trying to put a stop to it through any means possible.
You can't win on the points, win on the screaming. Congressman Chris Van Hollen, great thanks for your time tonight, Congressman.